Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Brightpoint Infotech podcast, where we dive into the latest enterprise technologies, ERP solutions, and digital transformation strategies. I'm your host, Premjit Singh, and today we are tackling a critical question. What is the right time to upgrade from Dynamics NAV to Dynamics 365 Business Central? And joining me is Shannon Walsh, a sales manager at Brightpoint Infotech, who has helped countless businesses successfully transition from business to Business Central. Shannon, it's great to have you with us today here.
Yeah, hi Prem. Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity here to have a discussion with you again. Always excited to talk about topics that's top of mind for many companies that are still running Microsoft Dynamics NAV.
Right, Shannon. So let's start the discussion. Shannon, many companies using Dynamics NAV know they'll eventually need to upgrade. But what factors should they consider while deciding when to make the move?
I mean, a very good question, right? So I would break it down into four factors that all businesses should be considering during this evaluation. I mean, number one, Microsoft support lifecycle for NAV. First thing I would ask, is your version still supported, right?
Right.
Secondly, security compliance patches. The question is, can your system keep up with the regulatory changes?
Correct.
Um, and then a couple of other ones. Number three would be new functionality in the latest, which is the most logical migration path. Is new functionality in Business Central.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
what improvements that could benefit the business? And then last, which is the evolving business requirements. Has your organization outgrown Microsoft Dynamics capabilities? So that would be like
Mm-hmm.
the four things that I would consider as part
Right.
of the yeah.
Okay, Shannon. Let's break this down one by one.
Sure.
One of the biggest concern is support. So can you walk us through Microsoft's support structure for NAV and why it matters?
Yeah, no, very good point. So Microsoft follows a 10-year support life cycle for Dynamics NAV,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts with mainstream support, which
Uh,
includes new features, bug fixes, security updates. And then after 5 years, it moves into an extended support model where you can only get security updates, so no new features. And then after that, support ends completely. So, meaning no fixes, no patches, nothing from Microsoft.
right, right,
And so, I mean, the reality is if you are using older versions like NAV 2013 R2 or any earlier version, you're already out of support.
correct.
Um, if you're on NAV 2015 to NAV 2018, I mean, you still have some time, but not much when you look at that.
Right. Right. So, Shannon, if your NAV version is no longer supported and something goes wrong, then what happens?
Well, I mean, if your Dynamics partner can't fix it and Microsoft won't provide support, you're in a tough spot, right? So,
Right.
and that's why companies need to get ahead of the curve and plan their transition before they, hit that point of a crisis. So you got to, it's best to start evaluating, early and looking at all of your options.
Correct. I totally agree. Shannon, another point, which is security, is another major reason businesses upgrade. How does Business Central compare to NAV uh, in terms of security?
I mean, that's a big one, right? So, in older versions of NAV require manual patches, and if you miss an update, you're exposed to, cyber threats and compliance risks, right? But with Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, which is the migratory path for new platform, security updates are applied automatically. Microsoft handles everything in the Microsoft cloud, which again, reduces your risk of you know, ransomware attacks, data breaches, system crashes. So, I mean, compliance is critical for your business. So, especially in industries with strict regulations, you can't afford to rely on, outdated software.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Now let's talk about functionality and productivity gains. Uh, what are some of the benefits of upgrading? What new feature does Business Central offer that NAV users don't have?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many improvement, right, within this new platform and within the ISV community. But just to list off a couple here, I mean, you do have that integration with Microsoft 365, so the productivity suite that everyone is familiar with, Excel,
Right.
Word, Outlook, and Teams. I mean, that's kind of like that's table stakes. Secondly, we're getting into the analytics, Microsoft's Power BI and for reporting and forecasting, um, built-in automation. Using solutions like Power Automate to reduce some of those manual tasks within these older versions of NAV, and then the ability to access remote and mobile access, work from anywhere on any device. So just to list off a
Hmm.
few things here that are kind of like very broad topics, but that would be the main points. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's a game changer. And especially with more teams working remotely, having mobile-friendly ERP access is a huge advantage, right?
Yeah, and like I had alluded to, I mean, Business Central is a cloud first solution, right? So meaning you're
Mm-hmm.
always on the latest version, no costly disruptive upgrades. It's all managed by Microsoft through wave releases. So yeah.
Right, right, right. Shannon, you might also have, come across this situation or when while you were you're with your discussions with some customers. Some companies still hesitate to upgrade because they think like NAV still works. But is that a good enough reason to stay?
Not really.
Mm,
So I mean, many businesses don't realize how much they're losing by sticking with an outdated system. So the
exactly.
questions that you need to ask, right? Are your reports slow and difficult to generate? Do you have too many vendors and duplicate records, for example? I mean, are you struggling to scale because NAV doesn't fit into your business model? So, if you answered any of these questions, it's time to consider and plan that move to
Mm,
platforms like Business Central.
right, right, right. Shannon, one last question. There are two paths to move from NAV to Business Central, upgrade or a clean start implementation. What's the difference and how should companies decide? If you
Yeah,
can
I mean,
share
great
some
point.
insight.
Yeah, no, good points. Like here's the breakdown. Like you mentioned upgrade. So, that keeps your, existing data, processes, customizations, best for companies that want a smooth transition. And that clean start, like a fresh implementation where you redesign your system for more, current needs and future state. So ideal if your current nav setup is outdated, an older version, messy or no longer fits your business model. So a couple of points there to consider.
Understood, understood. So the choice really depends on how much transformation a company wants alongside the upgrade.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And a very competent Microsoft Dynamics partner can help assess. I mean, that's what we do, right? Which path makes sense for the business.
Right, right. So, Shannon, this has been such a valuable discussion. Any final words for companies still running on NAV?
Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, start planning, right? Start planning now. I mean, even if you don't upgrade today, Have a roadmap is critical. Talk to your Dynamics partner, evaluate your current system, and determine your best timeline. So, yeah, planning is critical.
Right, right. Absolutely. And if you are considering the move, reach out to Brightpoint Infotech. We are here to help you guide through the process. And that is it for today's episode. If you found the discussion helpful, please subscribe to our podcast for more ERP insights. And Shannon, thank you once again. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Prem. Always pleasure.
Thank you.